Hello everyone, I am Todd and welcome to Empowering Generational Gold, or as we say, the golden egg. What does this mean? Unleashing and sharing your knowledge and lifetime experience is the gold that empowers all the generations. From silent generation to Gen Z, in which we can all benefit. That is your golden egg. Older generations have a lifetime of experiences that have seen it all and can help the younger generation knowing that you have been there and they are not alone. Your stories really can inspire. Younger generations is more quickly adaptable to the latest technologies that quickly outpace the older generations. Your help can keep the older generations, such as us, to be in touch with the alternative methods. Each of us has experienced the triumphs and the highs with our accomplishments, and we have all experienced sadness, sorrow, or even despair. This is the human experience, and a shared experience can be a learned experience. So let me tell you something about myself. I will be 61 in May. I've been on my own since I was 17 years old, and I've been working since I was 13 years old. I was born in the same generation as my mother, which is a baby boomer. My mom was born in 46, I was born in 64. How many of you can say that, right? It's usually someone else's generation. Married past 10 years to a wonderful woman, and boy, you have to be wonderful to put up with me. I have 2 adult children, 33 and 36, with college degrees from previous marriage, and I have 2 grandkids with my daughter. I was a volunteer police officer and a sergeant in New York City for 20 years, and I was at Ground Zero on 9/11. I was awarded a Award of Valor and other things, but the thing that I love most about it is that at 19, I decided I wanted to help out the city, and that's what I did. I have been a worker, I have been a manager, and I was mostly on Wall Street for 20 years. I have been an inventor and a CEO of my own company for 14 years. On personal activities, I love playing softball, managing softball, and singing karaoke, which keeps me healthy in body, mind, and spirit.
Can't even say, but I guess he's.
What has prompted me to create this channel, there are 4 factors in my life. The first 2 are about short life, and really, the last 2 are about being elderly and how elderly are being treated. At the age of 2, I died for about 10 minutes or so. I died in a tub. At age 9, I'll never forget, I was visiting my aunt in California, in Northern California, like Mendocino, and I was crying because I didn't want to go home. I was 9 years old, and this guy comes up to me on the plane and says, "Hey kid, you think the summer's short? Life's short." And I was like, looking at the guy like, have you lost your mind? As the last thing I wanted to hear. Now the last 2 has to do with how people treat elderly people, which kind of bothered me. So at 21, a woman falls onto the railroad tracks, the subway tracks, and no one helps her. So, of course, I'm going to help her. I'm 21, and the lady that I help is 53. No one wanted to help. I had to dive down and get her, and I'll tell you that story later. And then at 60, which is just a year ago, I have to be blunt. I don't like how everyone treated Joe Biden. We treated him like he was an invalid. The strongest and the most powerful man in the world was treated like he was some invalid. I didn't like that. And if you can treat him like that, you can treat any elderly like that. So I'm on a mission to stop that crap, because the bottom line is we have a lot to offer, and the younger generation should really heed the warnings of what we've learned, because we can do so much better. Okay, I will share with you my story. When I was 2 years old, I was playing with my little battleships and toy little subs that I had, back in the 60s. That's the kind of toys that you had. Well, I was playing with them, and I went under the water, and I hit my head on the faucet. And when I hit my head on the faucet, I was floating in the water. So basically, my babysitter found me floating dead in the water at the age of 2, and called the ambulance, and I was sent to the hospital. They tried to revive me, and they were unable to do so. And then my mother, who was working in the hospital at the time, she saw what was going on, and she was not going to let me die. And she punched on my chest, and I coughed up water, and hence I survived. So, and I can tell you, there's no question in my mind that at that point, I could tell you that probably there was angels that have came into my life, because there were things that subsequently I'll tell you in other videos about what happened to me. I've had many, many miracles, and I'm certain that it all started at the age of 2. Now, basically, I'll tell you another story. That was the one when I was 21. I was 1985, and basically, we were going to, I was going to my police psychological exam, the regular police. I was a volunteer cop in my second year, and I was on the Fort Hamilton F train line, okay? That's going Manhattan bound. It's a curved station, and I was an equivalent of sitting at the second car waiting for the train to come in, and about the 5th car down, a lady literally walked off the tracks. Her name was Danuta Jelinska. She was 53 years old, maybe 95 to 100 pounds soaking wet, thank God. So she fell in, and then people are yelling, "Lady, lady, the train's coming. You gotta do something. You're gonna get, you're gonna get killed." Well, she banged her knee right on the track because I heard it, and I knew she wasn't going to be able to do anything. So what do? I run down, to the horror of my fiance, who's going to work, and at the same time that we're taking the train. Well, needless to say, I jumped down and picked her up, and picked her up and went between the 2 third rails, and that's when the train came in. So I'm standing between 2 very highly powerful third rails. At one touch and you're fried. And I yell up to my wife, "It's okay, honey, I'm okay, go to work." And she yells back, "What?" So now I'm like, okay, I've got to save this person. I had to climb over the third rails again to go to the Brooklyn backside tracks. And needless to say that I threw her up, and now the train's coming in at me. So the Brooklyn Brown train buzzer's going off, and I'm stuck down now. I saved the woman from getting hit by a train, but now I'm in peril. So I'm trying to get up. I try to pull myself. I can't get up. I try to pull myself up a second time. I can't get up. The train's about 7 to 8 seconds from wiping me out. I finally swing my legs left, right, and finally got up onto the platform with a few seconds left to spare. That was very harrowing for me, but I got an award of valor from the police department for doing such a thing in my second year of being on the force. One of my proudest moments, because the bottom line is I'm the kind of person, if you get in a car accident, you need help, I'm going to be there no matter what, because that's just who I am. That's my DNA, and I'm very proud of that. I am certain that there are other people out there that have such great, amazing stories. You know, our combined life experiences vastly outweigh any AI. Only through the wisdom obtained you'll learn about quality over quantity. And that's something that the younger generations need to learn. Screw how many friends you have, it's the quality friends that you have. Don't go by how many, because believe me, when times are tough, you'll find out very quickly they ain't going to be there for you. So choose your friends wisely. I think we could all agree upon that. And what do they say about people who fail to understand history? You're doomed to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. And that's something that life experience can teach you. You don't need to go through the rigmarole of life. You could choose what you want. Because I want to talk to other people outside of the United States, because the culture of how we treat our elderly, I'm sorry, it's just pathetic, and I'm not happy about it. If you go to Japan, you go to China, they treat them with reverence. In fact, there are like wisdom days set aside where everyone goes to the oldest relatives just to learn. I could tell you, we need to learn and adopt that kind of thing. Find your oldest relative and ask about their life, and ask about their siblings' life, and their cousins, and their father, and their mother, and their grandmother, and their grandfather. Find out about your history, and you're going to be amazed just how spectacular spectacular the previous generations were and give them the credit that they're due. One thing, when you do this a little assignment, if you will, you are going to be pleasantly amazed and surprised of how wonderful your stories will be, and hopefully encouraging you to share your stories. And I would love to hear those stories. Well, it is my hope that this Generational Gold channel will inspire you to do what you do, because there's nothing that ever can replace life experience. And I want to thank the following people. I've got a list here. I don't want to miss anyone. I want to thank the over 40 YouTube inspirational people as Rob the Maritimer and Kevin Colby. I greatly appreciate all your help. You've inspired me to do my own over 40 channel. Also, from Inspirations who share their over 40 experiences, I'd like to thank Maggie McCormick, Jim Burrows Thrives, Small Retired Life with Raina, and Becoming Me with Holly C. And my spiritual motivation, I'd like to thank the following. Jay Hadina, you're wonderful. You are such a blessing. Anava, you are just a beautiful person. Elmer O'Locker Jr. and Ella Ringrose, I greatly appreciate. I do watch you and you give me inspiration. And last but not least, I'd like to do a shout out to a comedian named Karen Morgan. If you can, give her an opportunity. She's really funny, and she goes on the generational divide of how we're kind of different. As I told you, I am one of those rare people. I am in the same generation as my mother, and that's extremely rare. So while I kind of relate more to Gen Xers because I grew up with more Gen Xers, nevertheless, I still have that baby boom inside of me, which goes all the way back to, I believe, to Kennedy about do what you could do for your country and not what the country can do for you. So I've kind of held that line of it. All right, well, I want to thank you very much for your time today. If you liked what you've seen today, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you very soon. And I hope that you've enjoyed your empowering of your generational gold. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.